Zoom, zoom, zoom. Forget it. Hey everybody, this is David, and today I'm going to be talking about The Flash Season 2, Episode 6, Enter Zoom. And okay, so let's get into what I thought about this episode, the good, the bad, the ugly, all that stuff. What did I think of it? First, we start off with The Flash. Looks like he's in the middle of a battle with Dr. Light from the previous episode, but I thought, hey, wasn't she captured? But then we find out 72 hours earlier, Dr. Light is still in prison. And, Flash is trying to get a little bit of information about Zoom and his plot and all that. And later, Dr. Light from Earth 2 escapes, and I guess she undresses, goes nude like Invisible Woman, and escapes the place. Who knows what the hell happened to her? Will we see her again? That's some interesting things to think about. So what does Barry do now? Without Dr. Light, what does he do? So he decides to get Linda, the Earth 2 of Dr. Light counterpart, right? And decides to disguise her as Dr. Light. Since, she's the doppelganger anyways, might as well. And this is actually some of the stuff I really enjoyed about the episode that I was kind of worried about when they were going in that direction. I was like, they're gonna dress her up as Dr. Light and try to fool Zoom, but it actually really worked, and it was actually a lot of things that I enjoyed about the episode. I actually thought a lot of those moments where she's like training, and then when they're trying to lure Zoom in, that was actually some funny stuff there. I actually laughed a couple of times, so that was really good. You gotta love the lighthearted moments of the Flash, because that's definitely something that they always have done really well, the lighthearted funny moments. So yeah, I really enjoyed that stuff, and I like that Barry actually took off his mask and showed Linda that he was the Flash. What kind of bothered me a little bit was that when he was first talking to Linda as the Flash, before he revealed his identity, he disguised his voice like he did with Iris last season, but he didn't vibrate his face. And I'm like saying, how come you're not vibrating your face with Linda, but you did it with Iris last season? Were you more overprotective over hiding your secret last season? Or is Linda just not as smart as Iris? I don't know, but it's just a little nitpick there that kind of had me curious at why they decided to not vibrate his face. I don't know. I also liked the Joe and Patty moments, having little discussions about Barry and her personal life with Barry and all that. Since I've been okay with this relationship with Patty and Barry. I actually think they have good chemistry, especially in the last episode on their blind date. So I kind of feel bad for Patty, because now she's the only one. There's always someone that has to be in the dark on who Barry actually is, that he's actually the Flash, but whatever. I have a feeling they'll, by the end of the season, most likely, I have a feeling Patty will be in the group with everybody else. It seems like with both Arrow and Flash, I remember Greg Berlanti saying that he doesn't like the idea of keeping an identity, so I have a feeling Patty will eventually, before the end of the season, find out that Barry is in fact the Flash. I also like that little Easter egg that we got in the beginning of the episode when we were looking at a little bit of Harrison Wells' past. We got a little bit of information on his past, which was really cool. There was that nice little Easter egg that Robert Queen was actually the one that escaped the island, and Oliver was the one that died. And I'm like, wow, I want to see, and obviously they had the image of Green Arrow on the TV, on the news, before they got interrupted. So it's like they were going to talk about the Green Arrow. Who's the Green Arrow in that Earth 2? Obviously it's Robert Queen. Maybe. Who knows? But I would love for them to explore the Green Arrow of that Earth 2. I think that would be interesting to see Robert Queen, the actor, bring the actor back and have him be Green Arrow on that world, an older, more wiser Green Arrow. That would be interesting to me. But the show is called The Flash, so I doubt we'll ever get to see that. But whatever, it's not important. It was a nice little Easter egg. That was what I just wanted to mention. I also really like that, Cisco got to see unraveled what was going on with Harrison Wells. That was something that I was kind of worried that might have been dragged throughout the season, or at least for a couple more episodes. And no, they actually revealed it right away. They actually showed, no, we already know your daughter's captured by Zoom, and now we understand what your motivation is. So now everybody's in the know about this Harrison Wells. And there was going to be a moment where I thought when the trap scene didn't work, when they tried to lure Zoom into a trap, I actually thought when Harrison Wells was walking away angrily or frustrated, I thought Zoom was going to come in then, but no, he didn't come in. And then they were all going to think, oh, Harrison Wells, he's the Zoom guy, And no, they didn't go in that direction. In fact, they just went, Barry and Joe had a nice little talk, and they went into the next scene. So that was interesting. Zoom, I was kind of worried, like, it was almost 10 more minutes left, and I was like wondering, so we're not going to get a Zoom fight in this episode? But then Zoom comes out at the very end of the episode, and it turns out to be one of Barry's toughest challenges yet. He gets creamed by Zoom. Holy cow. And not only that, I thought at one point that Barry might have got his back broken. Thank goodness that didn't happen, but something worse happened, which I'll get into a little later. But man, Zoom is creepy. And he takes Barry, after beating him, he takes him all around town, to the police station, to Star Labs, to the news paper, and showing everybody that, look, this is your hero. And he's like dangling Barry in front of everybody, saying, this is your hero, and he has failed. He's nothing to you. And I'm just like sitting back horrified that this is actually happening on a show. And I'm like wondering, are kids going to be okay with it? Because kids watch The Flash, They probably watch Arrow too. I don't know. But I think more kids do watch The Flash than Arrow. And this is some creepy shit that's going on The Flash today, which it creeped me out a little bit, because I'm like, this Zoom guy, I mean, some of the way his voice is it's kind of comic booky, but in a very creepy manner. And I really liked it. I think the last 10 minutes of the episode were like really well done, and setting up for things to come, giving us an idea of how bad Zoom is, because that was something I was curious about. Like, how's it he's gonna be another Reverse Flash? But no, this guy is worse than Reverse Flash. Like, the beating Reverse Flash gave to Barry was nothing what Zoom just gave to Barry tonight's episode. So yeah, I think that, and obviously at the very end there, where Barry, when he wakes up from the fight after healing himself, he finds out that his legs are broken and he can't feel his legs, so he's paralyzed right now. Obviously he's going to get better before the team up, which I believe is in like 2 or 3 weeks. But yeah, this was a really cool episode. I am going to give this episode, I want to give it a 9. It was really enjoyable, but I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. Still a really good. It was a really good score that I'm giving it. It's just, I don't think it deserved that 9 yet. But this is definitely my favorite episode of the season so far. We're 6 episodes in, guys. So there's going to be tons more episodes that I have a feeling is going to be even better than this. But this was so far the strongest episode this season. I was really happy with it. I enjoyed myself in the beginning. I thought all of that in the beginning was really enjoyable. Laughed quite a bit. And the ending there was really intense. And really enjoyed it. And I can't wait to see how Barry is going to be in a wheelchair next week, because this kind of parallels back to season 1 when Harrison Wells was always in a wheelchair. So, except the difference is Harrison Wells was never paralyzed and Barry actually is right now. So it's going to be interesting to see Barry in that wheelchair and seeing how he has to deal with it. And how's he going to get his legs back, because it looks like Grodd is freaking returning next week, which I can't wait for. something else that I also got a little annoyed by in this episode, before I forget, how they always refer to Harrison Wells from Earth 2 as Harrison Wells, even though he was Eobard Thawne. They know he didn't, they know Eobard Thawne didn't really look like Harrison Wells. He was using Harrison Wells as a disguise, and they keep kind of forgetting that, I feel. Like, that's not really what Eobard Thawne looked like. He was just using that look as a disguise, so you guys should kind of, I mean, I guess it's because they're so used to the Reverse Flash looking like Harrison Wells. Maybe that's why, but I don't know. It kind of, it bugs me a little bit that they're not over that and they're not getting that idea. But whatever. Other than that, guys, I think it was a really great episode. And yeah, I can't wait for next week. Gorilla Grodd is coming back. That's going to be really cool. And the season is already on a roll, so I'm very happy about that. So until next week, guys, I hope you join me. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe. I talk about every episode of The Flash and Arrow, as well as occasionally, once in a while, some other shows. And I like to also talk about movie reviews, movies. And yeah, so subscribe to my channel. And also, I'm on Twitter. So if you want to follow me, I like to talk about movies and the shows that I love on Twitter as well. I'm at iCrazyDavy. So there you go. That's it. And until next time, take care.